Oh my gosh, Scorpios, I have to talk to you. Like, seriously. Today has been like a hell of a day. Like, I'm just going to get right into it. I legit skid across the parking lot at the Hobby Lobbies. I fell on my like little culotte pants or whatnot. I did that. Me. That's all. I was like, oh my God. And everybody's like turned around and was like, oh my God, ma'am, are you okay? Because I'm like, oh my God. Just thank you guys. You guys are really sweet. I wasn't embarrassed. I was more like, I don't want to talk about it. Like this car like pulled up to me and be like, girl, she saw you and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, I don't need like a full play-by-play of I don't need it right now. I just want to go to my car. And you know, when you fall like that, like nobody wants to hear your explanation. Like I was trying to explain to them, I tripped them, and it was like, oh my God, but are you bleeding? Are you like? I'm like, I'm not bleeding. Everybody was super sweet. Everybody was really nice to me, but I fell today. I tried to finish my soaps today. I had to make whip soaps. I couldn't find my blender, my whipper thing. I couldn't. It was just like nothing was going like smooth. I like smooth. I know you guys like smooth too. I'm sitting outside and it feels like good as hell out here. And I usually clap 3 times. I don't need to. I feel real nice. Nice breeze. I could sit out here like all day if it was like this. But I will smudge for you. I am smoking. St. John's Wort and Yarrow Root. Scorpios, what's going on? Let's focus on this Sri Yantra and like tune into you. You know, the first thought that came into my head was meditation, because I need to meditate. Like, I really do. I just really need to just meditate all week. Like, every day. Because I feel like on the cusp of peace. I feel on the cusp of a realization that will help me calm down. I feel like I'm on the cusp of not giving a damn about anybody but myself. You know, and when I was younger, because my mom was, I'm not going to say that. Because my mom is a carrier of the narcissistic archetype, I was taught that thinking about myself is like the devil, you know, a sin. So I think when you're healing from any type of childhood trauma, you might take caring for yourself, thinking of yourself to extremes. And I feel like it's needed, like to be really selfish. If you've gone to the extreme of completely like giving yourself away, especially if it's out of fear of violence, you know, sometimes you just have to take your life back. So let's look at the messages for Scorpio. Don't bite me, mosquitoes. I will say the card that I saw in the middle was the 7 of Cups. And now it's one of my favorite cards to see in the deck. Because I was doing the reading for Libra, and it was very convicting to read the Seven of Cups card, because Piravashi was like really loving up on nature. And I was looking at the card. It hasn't popped out or anything, but I was looking at the card, and I saw her watering grass that was by a pond full of lotuses. And in the description, it says she's also to feed the deer. And I'm like, that is a fantasy world she's living in. Why are you spending your time watering things that are clearly don't need you to water them? And that's part of attracting the type of energy that you will want in your life. You know, just being that pure-hearted. And you know, lately, for like, I don't know how long, I'm going to say since I got into a relationship with my ex, after being in a relationship with him, it honestly made me feel like, why give to people who don't appreciate you? And it just kind of made me go inward and be someone that I don't even recognize and turn into maybe more like him. And maybe I needed to go through that balance. I mean, that extreme to find my balance. But now I'm starting to see that, you know, today I saw, I was at the farmer's market and I saw like a package of chicken fall on the ground. And my giver's inclination is to go pick it up and just be helpful. That's like my natural way of being. But I'm like, well, that's not my job, because that's like what I've been learning to not be overly like giving and stuff. To not always like put myself in that position to be seen as somebody that's going to take on other people's loads, you know. But I was like, you know what the hell, you know, I learned my lesson in that. I feel like I have enough common sense now in that area to know when to be helpful and to give, and when to let other people to handle their own weight and pick up the slack. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with either, but finding a balance has been really important. Okay, this is an interesting reading, Scorpio. So we have the Emperor, which is a number 4, and today is an 8th day, just to let you guys know. Like, today is the 8th, the time I'm doing this reading, October 8th. And I feel like that's significant for Scorpios, because it's the infinity sign. It's the sign of reincarnation, of really coming back and repeating lessons until you get them right, until you perfect them. And I feel like the Emperor is about the beginning of building the perfect foundation and setting yourself up for success, you know, and being your own boss. And not being your boss in a way that is disruptive to everyone else, but a boss in a way that you are confident in who you are and what it is that you're building. And you're also a creator. You know, that number 8 is about creation. And the number 4 is about setting a great foundation for what you're about to create. So how do you do that? You know, you get your health together. And first you have to know that that's what you need to do. Because before the number 4, it's number 3, the Empress. It's about nurturing yourself first, feeding yourself in the right way, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know, did I already say that? You know, it's basically setting yourself up. You need mothering first. That's what I'm trying to say. And so maybe, Scorpio, you reach a point to where you've mothered yourself or fathered yourself to the point to where you're ready to take charge out in the world and do your thing. Show who you are, but with boundaries and self-respect. and grit and power and self-assuredness. And I feel like that's something that Scorpios deserve at this time. Scorpios are oftentimes looked at as a misfit, and as, you know, oh, she thinks she knows, but she don't know. But you know now. Experience has taught you. Experience has taught you that you better know that you know, Scorpio. Like, it's absolutely, you have absolutely no choice but to learn your lessons if you're going to stay in this plane and be successful. And Scorpios love success. Scorpios love a good success. You know, I'm a Scorpio sun and a Uranus in Scorpio, in the third house, mind you. Oh God. We love a good success. And it does us good. It's healthy for us to be successful. The more successful, the better. Because we're so sensitive and giving at the same, we're giving, sensitive, powerful, mature, and business minded all at the same damn time. We are very misunderstood, you know, so it's really important for Scorpios to be independent, or else you'll end up like going back and forth with in destructive patterns and relationships, basically with people taking care of you until you learn how to take care of yourself, because most Scorpios aren't mothered correctly. Man, why are these mosquitoes coming out right now? I'm in the thralls of a really good read. I'm moving. So I'm back inside because the mosquitoes was giving me straight hell, like absolute hell. Like, I even just got bit on my thumb. Why? Like, who does that? My God. So, okay, we'll continue on with your reading, Scorpios. All right. The reason why I feel like this reading is super interesting is because we start off with a real, like, hardcore materialistic, material world card, and also a very mental card as well, it being the Emperor. You know, you have to be mentally strong as well as really grounded in order to build the foundation right. And really all about what you're doing, clear about what you're doing. But I feel like I talked about this Emperor enough. All right, so the next card, which I feel like is super interesting, is the Moon next to the Emperor. Oh my gosh, like, Scorpios, what is it that you are about to build in your life at this time? Like, what type of magic is coming into your world from the psychic realm? So you have intermingling of different worlds, from your heart to your dreams. Like, you are going to create the life of your dreams. You're going to create the world of your dreams. And it may look crazy to other people because the moon, I think today is the new moon, actually. And the moon elicits lunacy, you know. Like, people might look at you and be like, she's crazy, he's crazy. Like, what the hell is, what the hell are they doing? And, you know, you see this deer next to this really young, charismatic, wild-natured boy. It's innocence. It's innocence involved with the choices that you're making. Okay, so, all right. So I feel like if you are a musician, a writer, are involved in something that has to do with the arts, because the moon is really artsy. And the moon also is very arrogant as well. So you could kind of be rubbing people the wrong way because people feel like, you know, how come she or he gets to come in and like do whatever the hell they want to do. So you might have people like try to stop you from doing the things you love to do because you're so free-spirited and you're so full of spirit and you're so full of light right now. And that takes me to the next card that came out, which I think is really interesting, is the Death card, Kali. Okay? And I'm going to actually read this card to you because It's like one of my favorite cards in this deck. There's 2 death cards in this deck. It's the Sacred India Tarot deck. But I can talk about the Emperor mixed with the Moon forever, because there's just so much juiciness there. Like building a foundation so you can live the life of your dream, or have the love of your life, or there's something coming to you that is fated. And I also think of like soul tribes when I think of the Moon. I think of rituals. So maybe in order for you to draw to you what it is that you want in your life to manifest, it might be the right time to do a ritual in order to make that happen. Since I did pull the Moon card next to the Emperor on the new moon, you know. Hey, Daniel. Hi. So I think that's a great idea. Like to make a spiritual bath, write out your affirmations. And so now I'm going to admit that I don't really completely understand what the death card has to do with this, but I'm sure I'll figure it out once I start reading it for you. Okay, so Kali. Kali, the dark goddess, has always been India's greatest paradox, wild, a bringer of death and destruction, behaving in peculiar ways, yet hailed as the loving mother of the universe, a mother who cannot bear the slightest pain in any one of her children. So now what I find interesting is that the Moon card has the same type of properties, where, you know, you're behaving in ways that may be peculiar and might be out of character for you, because you're channeling it under the influence of higher guidance than normal. Your energy may be higher than normal. And so, you know, you are making decisions in this world, but from maybe a different dimension and a different state of mind than the people around you. So you just may look crazy. You may be, you know, have your own business, and it may be a normal business, but maybe to move you forward faster, you know, you have to channel a higher energy, a higher cause, a higher purpose, meaning psychic abilities, in order to make things happen for yourself. All right, I don't know where I left off, but my camera ran out of space, and I had to upload things. My Wi-Fi wasn't on. I thought it was on. Stuff like that, like weird lunacy moon things like that. So we have the Emperor, and we have the Moon, and we have Kali, goddess Kali, and I was starting to read that. Now, like having a break from the cards and getting the chance to like really think about what the meaning of these cards together, I just feel like, Scorpio, you are a maniac when it comes to like building your foundation and getting things done and having a life that you want and being the boss of your life, to the point to where you might be driving yourself insane. But you're not going insane. Like you're going at a pace that is insane, but you're keeping yourself together at the same time. Like you're stretching yourself to the brink of insanity. That's what I feel like these cards are trying to say. And I'm going to read. I began to read the Kali death card to you, so I'm gonna continue reading that for you, because it was reversed, and I know what the card means reversed, but I'm going to wait until I read the description of the card to reveal it to you. I kind of want to read the Moon card too, because it's kind of significant, and how both of those cards are talking about behavior that is peculiar, you know. Okay, so I'm going to start over. Kali, the dark goddess, has always been India's greatest paradox. Wild, a bringer of death and destruction, behaving in peculiar ways, yet hailed as the loving mother of the universe, a mother who cannot bear the slightest pain in any one of her children. There is no statement you can make about Kali which does not have an opposite that is equally true. Meaning that, you know, if you say that she's the goddess of death, then you have to also say that she is the protector of life, which is true. And Kali, all logic is defeated. All attempts to restrict the human condition into neatly packaged bales of humanity are rooted, which is also a symbol of the moon as well. Oh, and something I was thinking about while I was away from the cards is that how the moon is related to the hermit, in a sense that, you know, your dreams is something that you can learn from, but it's something that you have to be open and available to looking at the symbols. It seems like your foundation is going to be built on you looking at the symbols in your life and kind of following these like fairy dust breadcrumbs. It's a very mythical journey, and you have to be grounded in order to get the messages, meaning that, you know, don't spend too much time escaping in order to get the messages you need to get, and so that you can ground the messages that you get. Like, you're going to be having dreams, but you need to make sure that you're taking care of your health, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, putting the right things in your mind, or else you can possibly go crazy. You could possibly like drive yourself insane if you have too much insanity going on. So make sure that the things that you have around you reflect some type of grounded, down to earthness, because the spirit world is already taking you on a trip. You don't really need like extra insanity at this time. That's what I'm seeing. And you need to spend time. You do need to spend time learning, but learning from the messages that you're receiving. I don't think you really need any more information. You have like the foundation already. And you know, there's something I didn't notice about this Emperor card that I just saw. There is a man. Oh, this is Vishnu. Okay, Vishnu. This is Brahma. I knew this was Brahma. This is Brahma coming out of the belly of Vishnu in the lotus flower. Okay. So like your transformation is hinged upon creation sleeping for a little bit. The creator is born from like the yogi. So there's like a lot of messages here for you, you know. So I feel like this is a good time for you to get into meditation so that you can ground your messages. See, that's what I'm getting from this. You need to make sure your messages are grounded, because you can possibly like go off the deep end. All right, so and the chattering monkey mind of logic is stunned and awed into silence, and wisdom begins to flow. All attempts to restrict the human condition into neatly packaged bales of humanity are routed. The chattering monkey mind of logic is stunned and awed into silence, and wisdom begins to flow. Kali is intuitive insight into the heart of darkness, and what emerges from that is clear light of awareness. Kali is the laughter of the divine when men attempt to circumscribe it with rules, rituals, and organizations. She is the karma that knocks people into shape and into their place. She is the glowing aspect of reality that is untamable, unpredictable, uncontrollable. She is life itself. Kali confronts all smug definitions of normalcy. She is the inner world of contradictions, paradoxes, and oppositions. Meditating upon Kali brings forth new possibilities and new frames of reference for life and living. Naive and comforting delusions that staple together insecure personalities are blasted away. Okay. I'm like on the verge of tears reading this right now because nothing could be truer in my life. I was over at my brother's house over the weekend, or maybe yesterday, and me and my other brother were having a conversation, and he was telling me that how offended he was by me because I use Native American cards that were made by a white woman in Europe. And basically he was trying to read me for filth for like being a fake shaman or something like that. Like he was basically telling me that because I am a black African American, that I don't have any rights to indigenous cultures and I'm just a poser. Okay. And so my response to him was more like, okay, if you guys don't know, my mother is narcissist. And she channels the narcissistic archetype. That's how I like to put it. And she's just left recently out of the family system and left us all to kind of build our relationships how we want to build them. And what I'm finding is the craziness is still there. But it's more like we can talk to one another without her triangulizing us. Hey, Daniel. And what I'm also finding is that I'm still the supposed scapegoat, and I have to tell them that you cannot take your frustrations out on me. What I feel like he was trying to say to me or put off onto me are feelings and definitions of being that he really is prescribing to our mother, who he never has gotten a chance to tell off or share his feelings with. And I really wasn't like here for it, and I also really wasn't upset. But as soon as I began to like also say my piece, he got angry and started shaking. You know, he couldn't take my rebuttal. And I'm saying all this to say that just because other people don't see you and other people might take you the wrong way and maybe even project another like whole nother person's life and character onto you because they can't profess their feelings to the right person, the right being at the right time. That doesn't mean you stop being you and that you're on the wrong path. No matter how radical that path may be. To you as well and to others. And so I'm going to continue to read. It says, naive and comforting delusions that staple together insecure personalities are blasted away by her presence, and what remains is the truth. And what's really hard for me about that relationship is that's a relationship that I trusted, that I can always talk to my brother. Me and him have always been able to talk, you know? And so him not wanting to resolve the conversation and come to some type of we see each other like intimacy point, like neutral point, was devastating to me. Like he was just like, I don't want to talk anymore. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what does that mean? And I have been pulling this Kali card for a while in my own personal readings, not knowing what it meant. And I feel like everything in my life is going to be, it's like dynamite. Like as my light shines brighter, as I grow into who I am, I'm learning. The more damns I don't give, the more opposition, it seems, that comes from people that are used to me not taking a stand on my like mythical journey. Okay. Stapled together, truth, hard, perhaps unpalatable, even frightening, but nevertheless the truth. Kali is the calm acceptance of reality as it is. consciousness in its primal as well as final state. Kali is depicted as standing upon Shiva, her husband. Kali is the wrath of God, but even she, Kali the terrible, can only deal with so much death and destruction. Tell me about it. Wrath is the absence of consciousness of Shiva. Uncontrollable power is channeled for the benefit of the world when it is grounded in consciousness. She bites her tongue, for it is the symbol of the ego's craving for desire fulfillment manifested as useless speech and gluttony. To control the tongue and desire for food is a vital and necessary part of spiritual progress. That is something that I have been experiencing head on as well. Just having to curb my cravings and interesting. Is a vital and necessary part of spiritual progress. The severed head is our ego, our arrogance and presumption that keeps us in ignorance of the divine nature of our being. When Kali asks for your head, give it to her. It is the paltry price for the infinite riches of soul she will bathe you in. Her nudity is the freedom of the realized person who does not need any barriers between her and the world. The girdle of severed hand signifies the end of covetousness, greed, and grasping. The upraised hand of Kali and the ajaaya mudra, the granting of fearlessness, indicates that death is only a passing over into freedom, which is the true nature of the soul. In a concrete sense, Kali makes her life keener, more enjoyable, because you are constantly aware that it will not last forever. Oh my gosh, these are all things that I've been thinking about lately. To worship Kali is to realize that death is a necessary and inevitable consequence of having lived. Whoa. Wow, just think about that. The consequence of having lived. If you're truly living, then you're blowing up the spot sometimes. Seriously, if you're actually truly being yourself and you're becoming self-actualized, then there's consequences. And I'll be thinking about stuff like this. There's consequences, even if you're a pure soul, a good being. There's consequences to being you that may not be pleasant for you to experience. I used to be naive and think that because I'm good, or because I am pure in my intent, that everyone should or is going to treat me we're in Care Bear show, the Care Bear movie. It's going to be Care Bears, yay! That's what I would But no, to some people, goodness is the enemy, and they want to destroy if it doesn't match up with the reality that they're trying to build. People will try to get rid of you. But what Kali comes in and does, she will get rid of your enemies. To worship Kali is to realize that death is a necessary and inevitable consequence of having lived. And more than just your enemies, she will kill off the dead nature, the things that no longer serve you in your life, which would be the people who really don't want to grow and continue on the journey with you. To know Kali is to realize you live by what you kill within you. Exactly. If certain things don't die within you, then you will not rise. You will not turn the page in the next chapter of your life. So the shadow, since it was reversed, is explosions of anger and rapidly shortening temper. Sometimes the Kali mantra can cause its effect, which means you are overdoing its practice or it was not really right for you. Change is not deep or profound, merely a desire to titillate oneself with novelty, even when getting hurt. Persisting with old and foolish modes of behavior and circumstances, inertia, depression, and stagnation, rendered worse by the knowledge that you are acting without wisdom. Too much unfinished business in life, and now it all surfaces simultaneously, demanding you deal with it. Complaints and whining about the inevitable. An interesting meaning is deliberately suppressing your true potential so that loved ones do not become resentful of your power and talent. This has traditionally been a woman's problem, but it is now universal. Change is enforced by destiny. Something is forcibly removed that you were not willing to sacrifice. So it seems like in order for you to have this, the foundation of your dreams manifesting and this grounding, there are going to be things that are forcibly removed out of your life, Scorpio, that you haven't been willing to sacrifice. And for me personally, that is my family, and also really some of my habits of clinging to cravings and relationships in general, because I can't stand, I feel lonely as it is, coming from being the daughter of a narcissist. And so that's one of the things I have to sacrifice. Some of the things I have to sacrifice, you know, what it means for me to, what has made me happy in the past is like having really savory foods, because that's been like my comfort. Can't do it. Like my appetite's leaving, and I'm so busy sometimes I just can't do it. And so I really want to encourage you guys to keep going on your journey. I know this reading is like a mixed bag of great positivity and then some darkness as well, but that's life as a Scorpio. You can handle it. And I want you to know that you can reach out to me for personal readings if you need to. Also, join me on patreon.com, Aya of the Dawn, and on my Instagram. There are lots of treats I have in store for you. With certain tiers in my Patreon, I give you spiritual bath teas and some soaps, handmade soaps for the month. But that's not going to be it. That's not all that you'll receive. Every month it'll be something different. I really love and enjoy working with herbs and with natural products of healing. And some of the things that we talked about in this reading have inspired me to create the next products for next month. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great October. Peace and happy birthday to you, Scorpios.